Hi everyone, welcome to my session about Microsoft Teams in IT Pro Dev Connections in Greece. And many thanks to our sponsors. Without them, it was not possible to have this event. And please go to the rooms that the sponsors are and continue to engage with them. Okay. My name is Nuno Árias Silva. I'm Office Apps and Services MVP. This session is about Microsoft Teams, a vision for intelligent communications. And what about a little of my background? I advise my clients to be proactive, to have the best solution to their needs, because if you don't give them the best architecture within their scenario, it could be not very well to them. And my past experience, my last years, I work in IT, dedicated more in Microsoft products, and also you have my contacts over here. I'm architect manager at Ineton. You have here my website, my email, my blog, and also a book that I have created based on Office 365 Essentials. Okay, here is the agenda. We will have an overview, then Microsoft Teams, then the intelligent communications, and a little demo. And what about overview to understand more what is the Teams foundations? The foundations of all unified communications at Microsoft was on Skype for Business. And if we can see when Skype for Business was at production before Teams came, it was 1 billion minutes per year, 3 billions per voice, and 100 million monthly active users on Skype for Business. And what about the changing? The changing as a modern workplace, as you know, you working on mobile phones, you have many devices per user, you are working within 5 generations in your organizations, and your team based and collaboration is 2 times as many teams now. That's the big question about the changing. And then Microsoft has released Microsoft Teams. And what is Microsoft Teams and what is the main objective? It's a hub for teamwork in Office 365. You can communicate through chat, meetings, and calls. Also, you can collaborate using files. You can manage files and share them and co-edit simultaneously.
Hi, Nuno. Sorry for hijacking your session. I would like to inform you that there is no sound coming out of your microphone. So if you can uh, quickly check about the sound issue. Thank you.
Hello? Are you listening now? Hello? Okay. Sorry, but a issue within the microphone. Okay. What part has you missed from each slide? Sorry. From what part? I can go back. Okay. Hello? Can someone tell from which part you do not listen? 3 slides back? Okay, thank you. Let me go back. Sorry. Okay, let's continue. What about communicate through calling? You can connect with anyone through phone system and also using calling plans. You can have a dedicated phone number from your provider. Then you can have a dedicated calls using your traditional phone numbers. For example, you can connect your phone numbers using a session border controller that you can do a part that Microsoft calls direct routing to Teams that can connect your SIP trunk directly to Microsoft Teams. Then you can have advanced call features like voicemail transfer, and also you can connect to any phone number. And also Teams, you have the advanced call manager using call routing, auto attendant, reporting, and for example, you can have an IVR. And also you have the support of all traditional connections using, for example, to phones that are certified to Microsoft Teams. And what about the feature of communications to the cloud and also to on-premises? Using your Office 365 subscription, you have Microsoft Teams within all the features, voice, video, and meetings, and also the Teams client. And what about the on-premises? Microsoft will continue to support all the Skype for Business on-premises, also to the voice, video, and meetings, and also the Skype for Business client. You can also have a single experience using cloud within the Teams. The Teams will be the only solutions on the cloud. Till the end of June, all the customers must be migrated to Microsoft Teams. And what about the transition that you need to do? For example, you can have transition to Teams. You will need a transparency and communication to your connections. You can also upgrade your Skype for Business to Teams based on your organization. Remember, you have till the end of June next year. And how to empower your process, how to transition with feature updates, and what about you have support through partner and also the device ecosystems. And what about the interoperability between Skype and Teams? As you have, for example, the need to transition, you can transition and you can change your configuration to Teams only, per user or per tenant. And also you can have island mode that you can use both clients. But for example, if you are now creating an Office 365, you will not have any more available Skype for Business interoperability within Teams. That's for the existing customers that need to transition to Teams. Also, you can have the Skype for Business and Teams. You can call and chat across each other, and also the advanced calling options that are available. And what about you should do today? You need to understand about what will be your journey. You need to plan your journey to Teams, relative to Teams roadmap. Now, almost all features are available on Teams. You can onboard users begin using Teams today to explore the benefits of Hub, of Dreamworks, and to within Office 365. You can also run Teams side by side. You can have the meetings. You can check out Pilot's essential resources that Microsoft have, and then drive values through user adoption. That is very important. You need to create a program to an adoption program to Microsoft Teams. You need to uh, tell to the users how to use Teams, how they leverage the Teams to the next level, they can create, for example, channels, how they can chat, how can you federate, how can you edit files, and so on. It's very important to create a change management program, to have a program dedicated to the users to use any product, not just Microsoft Teams. And what about the roadmap within Microsoft? For example, it's available today, all the part of features of precedence chat and so on. You also have some features that are coming or are already available, like sharing new chat, contact groups, unified presence, the federated chat between Teams and Skype, import contacts from Skype for Business interop with precedent chat, messaging user level policies, and retention policies. Uh, that's a part that Microsoft has a big effort that are completely giving some features to the users and to all the organizations giving these new features within all the client. And continuing about the roadmap. For example, you have some parts here that are already available today that are completely in production, and some part, for example, the part of federated meetings or LAR meeting support are already available. Lobbies for PT's SN callers now are available. The part of PowerPoint load and share whiteboard meetings not also available now. But all months you have the new features coming to Microsoft Teams. And also, for example, the new part that are coming and some parts are already available is, for example, e-discovery enhancements. And what about the calling roadmap? For example, some parts here it's completely available, and for example, you have the part of pickup and completely PBX. That's why you can use also these parts to all your Microsoft Teams that are completely available. That's not just a solutions to have connected just to meetings or using PC and so on. Sync Microsoft Teams that can be the next PBX solution to your organization. And what about customer resources? For example, for new customers, you have this site that call it Success with Teams. Within here, you have, for example, let's see this site just to understand more. Let me just share it, that part. Okay. For example, here the success with teams, that was the first link. You have a practical guidance, plan, delivery, operation framework, requirement, adoption guides, and some tools. As you can see, you have here all the documentations, how to roll out teams, the security and compliance, an adoption hub, how to upgrade from Skype to Teams, frame training for you as an IT pro or to your users, how to integrate with Microsoft platforms, a Teams voice migration that I have told the completely solution from a company, and the collaboration governance in Microsoft 365. And also here is the central part that you can use as your first part, how to roll out teams, what are the recommended path, and also the adoption that I have told you before. Okay. Also, you have, for example, for existing customers using Skype for Teams, you also have here this link. Within this link, you also have this part of the best practices, tool, and also resources. Within this part, you can also have the part of the roadmap, the best practices, tools, and also all the resources. And then what about your part, for example, using to all customers? Also, Microsoft has a service about that can support for all customers, that you have the fast track, you have the hand support, best practice tools, but also you can use a partner that has experience to deploy this kind of solutions. Not just deploy teams, you can also have partners about adoption, partners that has the experience to convert your old PBX to the Microsoft Teams, and so on. Please use partners that have experience to have a smooth transition and have the best solution to your customer. Okay, what about the external access to meetings? You also have the external users to have access to meetings. You can have guest access. You can grant by admin, or you can also as another perspective that you can block or not, depending your decision. Also, you can have anonymous join and lobby functionality for anonymous users to join meetings. And also you can have federation to other organizations that you can have the configurations and the power to decide what companies or partners or customers that you can talk to each other. But think a little difference. If you are completely close your teams, the users will use shadow IT to use another tools to connect to each other. It's better to understand what are the pros and cons about these kind of decisions. And what about the global availability for meetings, voice, and chat? For example, all these part of the meetings are completely working worldwide. The PTSN are available from many countries. As I told you, you can connect also using the session border controller to Teams using the part of telephony. Also, you have some part of previews from some customers, but understand that is available almost to all countries. And what about to communicate through chat? You can communicate and keep everyone to know all the communications. You have the preset chat and contextual chat. You have one-for-one or group conversations. Remember, do not create new teams just to a small groups. If they need just to collaborate to a small project, just give the users the part of the adoption that they can use the groups and to create small groups rather than create teams. What about also share information and within your teams, communicate across organization and all kind of geographies, and you can also humanize with GIFs, stickers and emojis and so on. And what about collaborate within integrated Office 365 apps? You can also have the quick access for apps, and for example, you can work within the same place using your Office apps like Word, Excel, PowerPoint, using and editing within the teams, and also you can connect to other integrations within the OneNote, Power BI, Planner, and each time you create a team within Office 365 within Microsoft Teams, below it's created a SharePoint site to each team to be the part of the central communication. You can also customize and extend your team. You can tailor your workspace to have new services. You can pin important files. You can add bots. You can integrate third-party services. You can build your integrations with existing business processes, but you can also create your own application. And for example, the part you can work with confidence, you have the build security compliance using Office 365. It's completely certificated. You have the compliance with all this kind of certifications, the information protection, e-discovery, audit, multi-factor authentication, secure guest access, and you have all the part of communications guarantee and always encrypted. And what about the life cycle? About a pre-meeting, during a meeting, a post-meeting. During a pre-meeting, you can have the ongoing conversation, prepare and discuss content. You can schedule from Teams, from Outlook. But for example, during a meeting, you are joining the meeting from any kind of device. You have immersive video and content. You can share desktop apps and content. You can follow up and share from your phone. You can record and play back after. But also important is the post meeting. You can continue using group chat. You can follow up items. You can share notes. You can share recording, schedule follow-up meeting with contacts. That's the best way to continue the meeting. And what is changing and what is not changing? What is changing now, using Microsoft Teams, you have a fewer hubs, richer experience. You have a high quality voice for using videos and meeting. New capabilities using unified communications, the new devices certified to using Teams. For example, last week it was many news and was released some devices that will be cheaper because are connected using your USB. You can have physical phones within the connections. What is not changing? The commitment for Skype for Business server, it will continue on premises. the commitment for cloud voice and video, compliance standards, premium value in E5. Remember, if you need to all the features like the connect to the phone system, you can also have a separate license as a phone system. But if you have E5 plan in Office 365, it's already available, and support for third-party devices and solutions. What are the next? The Skype for Business are available now, the 2019, but also understand Microsoft continues to commitment the new Skype for Business on premises, not just cloud. Then new Skype will become at 2021. At end of next year, will you have the release of the new Skype for Business on premises available. That's why, to understand if you are using just on premises because you have legal parts or also have some parts, it's continuing to be available. And what you have the opportunity to create about the developers. You can also create applications that using tabs, bots, you can compose extensions, connector, messaging, feeds, also using graphs. You can create and build your own apps, having the rich capability through the chat, channels, notifications, and so on. That's the big difference of Microsoft Teams. And to remember where to start a conversation. If you are using direct communication, official communications is advised to continue to using email. Also, you can send emails to a channel to Microsoft Teams. If you are using like an inner loop inside your organization about the core projects and so on, you can use Microsoft Teams as an outer loop within across all the organization. Also within externals, you can use Yammer. All these are secured by Office 365 groups. And remember, all files, sites, and content resides on SharePoint. What about the next steps? Turn on Microsoft Teams for your company, identify a team to begin pilot, and plan company rollout. And just a little demo. We have 5 minutes left. Okay. Just here a little demo. Okay. You have teams. You can also have many teams that you can also connect, as you can create your own apps, or you can create tabs created to different communications. For example, you have a completely page here, completely integrated. You also have here some connected using your retail accounts. You can connect, for example, this is a list. You can also connect to an Excel directly, or you can create directly within another. Also, you can have many tabs as you need. For example, a document library, some docs. For example, I can connect here to a document library from another teams or from shared documents. These are all documents within this team, and I have a view here that has all the data from within this team. Also, you can have the home page of the SharePoint. For example, here I have the home page from the SharePoint from this team. Also, you can have here all your customization from your SharePoint site. And as you can see, we are not using another application to do our job. Also, you can have, for example, here the part of user voice from Microsoft. For example, welcome to Microsoft Teams user voice. That's the news. What about our coming? What you can see here. You can also ask new features, and here is the feedback to Microsoft. Also, for example, you can create two web pages. I have here some pages and some documents and so on. Also, you can create here some apps. You can build your own app to leverage to a new system. You can upload your apps, you can create your own, and you can also, as your personal apps, you have bots, tabs, connector, messaging, and so on. And that's the big part of the teams, that not just conversation and meetings comparing to Skype. Okay? Questions? If you have any questions, you can write it. If you don't have any questions, you have here my contacts. You have also my blog, my email, the Twitter, my LinkedIn. I work at Ineton. That's the new brand for GFI. I'm my architect manager. And if you also want to know more about how to set up and have all the bases about Office 365 as an essentials, not just to IT pros, you have a book that I have written about the Office 365 Essentials. Okay, I have here a question from Costas. Can you please clarify the polite about Skype for Business? If I can understand your question, Microsoft will continue to support Skype for Business on premises, but to online, they are migrating to Teams. Till the end of June next year, all customers using Office 365 that are using Skype for Business online, they must migrate to Microsoft Teams. I don't know if it's that the question, Costas. Yes, it was that the question or the answer that I have response to you. Okay. Okay. That's fine. Thank you. And okay. Thank you to all. You have here my contacts, and you are free to contact me to any of all here my social networks. Okay. And thank you to all. Bye.